Beckerman of Nebraska, ranked #1 in the nation, 14-0, 9-0 in duels, takes on third-ranked Brett Lawrence from Minnesota. He's out of Sandpoint, Idaho, 4-1.
14-1.
14-1. Don't cheat him 10 there, right? So #1 versus #3, Beckerman and Lawrence.
And I'll tell you what, Brett Lawrence is coming on. He started out the year ranked 15th, and he's all the way up to 3rd. He's just coming off the 2nd place finish at the Midlands, where he beat former NCAA champ Chief Moore in the semifinals. He ended up losing to Cody Sanderson, who's also graduated from college already in the finals, but a 2nd place finish at the Midlands is impressive.
So two seniors battling it out here.
His only loss this year against a postgraduate wrestler.
These two have seen each other twice before. Beckerman has won both times, 8-2 during a duel. And believe it or not, in the first round of the NCAA tournament, not a good draw for actually either wrestler. And Beckerman won that as well, 10-7.
And I'll tell you what, that match was a barn burner last year.
So Beckerman and Lawrence. Beckerman #1 in the nation. Lawrence is #3. And the Huskers have now won 3 in a row to take a 12-7 team lead over the 2nd-ranked team in the nation. The Huskers off to their best start ever in the history of this program, 9-0.
I don't believe they've ever had an undefeated season in the history of Nebraska wrestling.
I mean, the score one more time, 12-7 Nebraska, 12-7.
However, even if they should win this duel, next week they head out to Penn State to the national duels, where they're going to see the top teams in the nation all over again. If they could complete an undefeated duel season this year, that would be something.
And Lawrence working on the headgear. Has it fixed?
I'm wondering if Beckerman's got some kind of cut or something on his forehead or above his eye. With you see the tape he's got wrapped around his head underneath his headgear. We were talking, you mentioned earlier how Pat Myron's just had a really tough year this year with the quality of opponents he had. It was 1999 when Beckerman was in that situation. He ended up the year 19-16, but I think like 12 of his 16 losses were wrestlers ranked in the top 4 in the nation.
1:30 to go here in the first period, and no score between the #3 and #1 ranked wrestlers in the nation, Beckerman and Lawrence.
I think the crowd is a little worn out after that last match.
It did get quiet.
You know, things will pick up here. There's a warning against Beckerman. Todd Beckerman again, the #1 ranked wrestler. Brett Lawrence, #3. The #2 ranked wrestler is Eric Juergens from Iowa, the defending national champion. But he's lost to the Oklahoma State wrestler a couple weeks ago and dropped to Charles Walker and dropped in the rankings. Actually, Beckerman, I don't believe, has ever beat Juergens, but due to that loss on Juergens, the polls reversed their positions. And like coaches always say, rankings don't mean a whole lot in wrestling, because you still have to do it on the mat.
We're at a 133-pound match between Lawrence and Beckerman. This duel between Minnesota, ranked 2nd in the nation, and Nebraska at #8.
This match here could also be very important for seeding. We haven't really talked about that tonight, for seeding at the national tournament, you know, because there's no guarantee that Nebraska will run into Iowa next week at the national duels, so Beckerman may never actually see Juergens this season until the national tournament. However, Brett Lawrence is probably going to run into him quite a bit, because I think they still have a duel scheduled with Iowa, and I think they're going to see, well, I know they're going to see him at the Big Ten.
Right. So after the first period, there is no score between Lawrence and Beckerman.
Choice down.
And if you would like to get more information on the Nebraska coaching staff, or maybe some of the important rules in wrestling, just log on to our Nebraska ETV Network website at net.unl.edu. Click Sports, then follow the prompts to Nebraska Wrestling. Another service of NETV Sports, Nebraska's home for sports.
Minnesota actually has a chance to run into Iowa 3 more times before the national tournament. Next week at the national duels, all Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, Iowa State, Penn State,
And the first points of the duel.
And UNO. Nebraska Omaha is going to the national duels next week.
Is that right?
Yep. Every year, a Division II team, a Division III team, and an NAIA team are invited to the national duel tournament. Oh!
Beckerman put on his back there briefly, and the two-point takedown by Lawrence. Add that to the escape he had just seconds ago, and it's 3-0 all of a sudden. Brett Lawrence on top of the #1 wrestler in the nation, Todd Beckerman of Nebraska. Lawrence voted most dedicated wrestler by his teammates. That says something when your teammates.
There's an escape by Beckerman. 3-1. No riding time for either wrestler at this point. Lawrence working a pretty tight front headlock, keeping Beckerman out of position.
Another shot, another shot!
And Charles Walker, the wrestler that was beaten by Lawrence from Oklahoma State, as we take one more look at the takedown by Lawrence on Beckerman.
A single, and he did a nice job of tripping him straight to his back. And again, Lawrence is in on the leg again. Beckerman doing a good job of countering, trying to scoot around behind him to get the takedown for himself. We're going to get a stalemate. Neither wrestler could improve his position.
And as I was saying, Walker of Oklahoma State also beaten in the Big 12s last year in this arena by Beckerman.
Beckerman getting second place in the Big 12 last year, losing to, I believe it was Cody Sanderson.
Yep.
The wrestler that Brett Lawrence just lost to. There's an injury time by Todd Beckerman.
What's the injury time on, Red?
In fact, there are about 4 wrestlers there at 133 nationally who've kind of been going around and around. Beckerman, Lawrence, Walker, and then Iowa's
Juergens.
Eric Juergens.
Good luck with national.
Not sure what we're looking at here.
And they're looking at the forehead as they're cutting that tape, as maybe the tape had slid down a little bit, impairing the vision, and they cut it up there.
Now in college, the wrestler gets 1.5 minutes of injury time. Now blood time is different. You get more time for blood time if a wrestler's bleeding, bloody nose, cut lip, something like that. Due to the chance of getting infectious diseases, they've changed the rules on that. Used to be blood time counted against your injury time. If you take an injury time out, again you get the 1.5 minutes. If you take another injury time out now in college, your opponent gets his choice of position. So like if Beckerman, for example, would take another injury time out here, Lawrence could take the down, even though they're on their feet, he could say, well, I'll go down and get the escape.
So we're through the second period, and Beckerman trails by 2. It's 3-1. Brett Lawrence leading #1 Todd Beckerman in the final period now. And Beckerman's on the bottom trying to work his way out and get the 1-point escape.
Now the way Brett Lawrence is wrestling this year, if he could pull this upset off, I would say that might vault him to #1.
There's a point for Beckerman, and now it's 3-2, and right back in on the single leg is Lawrence.
This match really isn't going how it should have gone on paper.
It's certainly not like the 125 match we saw minutes ago. 3-2, Lawrence leads.
There's the first time Beckerman's got in very deep.
He's in on the single leg, trying to get the takedown.
Lawrence doing a good job of fighting it off. Now he's got Beckerman in trouble. Beckerman needs better hope for a stalemate here, because otherwise Lawrence might get the takedown, and that will probably put it out of reach. Oh, there's a stalemate.
Beckerman able to hold on to that single leg and get the stalemate. So 1:08 to go here in this third period. It's 3-2. Lawrence, #3 nationally, leading #1 Beckerman.
In right away on a high crotch, shifts off to a double and gets the easy takedown. Now he's got a
5-3 now lead after the escape, and Beckerman has some work to do.
Well, a takedown will tie it up. We're under a minute.
Inside 55 seconds now. Riding time will not be a factor. So there's your score, 5-3, Lawrence over Beckerman. Beckerman needing a takedown.
There hasn't been any stalling calls.
35 seconds now. 36. Beckerman
There's another
shoots.
shot attempt. Looked like he shot from a little too far out, and Lawrence is going to get the takedown
Right there.
and that's probably going to wrap up the victory for him at this point, unless Beckerman can pull off something big.
19 seconds left. It's 7-4. Lawrence on top of Beckerman, and this would be an upset the Huskers did not expect. Ten seconds now. Lawrence by 3. 7-4.
Beckerman takes one last shot, but he's going to run out of time. And there's a stalemate, but we've only got 3 seconds left. It's pretty unlikely that Beckerman can pull anything off here.
And Todd Beckerman loses his first match of the season. Moves to 14-1 now, and Lawrence, number 3 nationally, has knocked off number 1 Todd Beckerman, and it makes it 12-10 Nebraska leading in this duel.